Bobby Montague win back Western St. Mary? Or better yet, the question is, can Bobby Montague lose? Can he lose Western St. Mary? There are some in Western St. Mary and its environs who believe that Bobby Montague can lose Western St. Mary. Let's look at that narrative and look at some more consequences. In this video, we're going to look at Western St. Mary, Southeast St. Mary, East and West Portland very briefly, and I'll tell you why afterwards, why I think I need to look at them. Hello everyone, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. Karen Cecilia here. I trust you're all well. Please remember to give the video a like, and please, I am looking forward to your comments and your suggestions and your own analysis of these things that we put out, because we need everybody input to hear what everybody think. All right, so let's look. A good portion of Bobby's own people are against him. They say that Bobby arrogant, and they think and that he thinks he's invincible. And a lot of Laborites say they are not voting for him. Let me walk back that a little bit. Not a lot, but a good chunk of Laborites walking around talking who them done with Bobby and them not with Bobby and Ray. And we could chalk it up and say both sides people say that all the time. Them done with them candidate or them done with them party for one reason or the other because they're upset about something. We can say that has been true in the past and it could be true now. The local government elections in 2024 felt like a referendum on the JLP. It felt like that for a couple of reasons. First, the PNP leader was out there calling on the voters to make it a referendum. He was telling them that, they must go out and vote against a wicked government. Remember that. Secondly, the mostly new voters of March 2024 and some swing voters who votes for either party sometimes, depending on the wind direction, also by their own showing up, turned it into kind of a referendum. The problem with that, however, is that it never really worked to the PNP favor, but in fact gave the JLP a chance to recalibrate. Was it a referendum? I don't think it was, because I don't think the base of both parties actually turned out in the way that they should have, could have, and expected to. So, the PNP never get its referendum because they lost local government election, and while making some gains like 16,000 more votes in Region 3 in the corporate area and more votes across the country and winning back some council seats and all of that still never translate into a whopping victory, which should have been the case based on how the Jamaican people were feeling at the time in March 2024. One of the consequences that get caught up in this recalibration is Western St. Mary, Bobby Montague's constituency. And so the PNP operatives them now in Western St. Mary believe that Bobby can be beaten. And I found it very interesting, so I thought I would look into it and just give you my own thoughts on it based on what I see and what I know to be true. All right? The belief that Bobby can be beaten would have been stronger today if the PNP candidate was going to be somebody else rather than the one who's there now. Primarily, if it was going to be Principal Basco, that argument could be entertained that Bobby can be beaten. But that nasty saboteur named Byfield, he's the one, he won the Gale division and set up trap for Principal Basco. And we said that over time, I'm not going to stop repeat that. In the local government elections, the PNP made a net gain of about 1,500 votes. Give or take a couple, the PNP made a net gain of about that amount of vote. Overall, I'm telling you, because the PNP gained some votes in some various constituencies, in some various divisions. They gained over nearly 600 votes in Rockabessa, about 211 in Basco Bell, and a little over 700 in Gale. That give Bobby Montague still an 1,800 vote advantage based on the 2020 results. The constituency now have 37,000 voters on the list, and 2 million voters now we have now on the list, and 29% showed up in March, and in spite of the fact that the PMP were able to cipher off 1,500 votes after that 3,000 plus that Bobby won by in 2020. That is good news and bad news for Bobby. But it is the reason why the PMP people feel that Bobby can be beaten. So let's look at it in simple way, because I think the PMP people them looking at it in a simplified way. They have made a net gain of almost 1,500 votes. That gives them, instead of trying to overcome a 3,000 vote margin, assuming of course that them can bring out back this 1,500. If them can bring out back this 1,500, give and take a couple, it gives them put them at a disadvantage of 1,800 or so. The good news for Bobby in all of that is that him start with a 1,800 vote margin. But that is all the good news, ain't it? And that's why the PMP people feel that he can be beaten. But that feeling is not coupled with any plan as to how to go look another 1,500, another 1,600 or 1,700. Because that now agree to beat Bobby, you're going to need 3,000 more, 2,000 more at least, but find the 1,500 where you have, or 2,500 at best. Assuming, of course, that Bobby going to work back some of his areas and bring back some of his people who seemingly have taken a backseat and decided to them are not with him right now at this moment. So those are the disadvantages and those are the advantages in that why PMP people feel that Bobby can be beaten. And I'm not saying that him can and can. You must never say never in politics. Anything can happen because it's politics. So that there is a good news for Bobby. The bad news for Bobby is that when people decide, which is the kind of same thing facing Mr. Holness now and generally over the country, when voters have decided that they're done with you, you have a steep hill to climb. When them say them done with you, listen to me, when them say them done with you, you have an extremely steep hill to climb. But that is not exactly bad news. Because while Bobby has a 4,000 vote margin on which to always rely on to win him seat, and then the PMP knock off 1,500 over it. The truth of the matter is the PMP don't know where to go find the next 2,000, 2,005. They don't know. They're just going to scrounge around and walk around and talk to people and hope. But they don't have any concrete knowledge as to where that additional, say, 2,000 votes. Let's put that 2,000, where those 2,000 votes are and where them could get it. The other good news for Bobby is that him have that 1,800, that was the first good news, and him actually know where to go find 2,000 more. And that's the difference between him and the PMP candidate. All right? The candidate that the PMP now has is a dead stick. He has no no personality. Does not have any personality. He does not have the knack for to play politics. And I don't think that is something that can be learned. Politics is something that you have to be able to, some people are born with certain talents. Some people can learn certain talents, Politicians are not exactly born. They are mostly made. But you have to be born with some innate things. Like you have to have some kind of belief system that you can do this, that for one. And two, that you want it badly. And three, that you want to serve people. And the motivation that you have because you want to be this and you want to be that. So giving it to somebody who don't have that kind of enthusiasm for them own selves and them own abilities and what them can do, it not going to work. And this candidate, Mr. What's his name? Him don't have him don't have attraction. No, don't have no traction at all, and him not gaining any. Him don't know how to talk to voters, and I don't mean that him rude. He's not rude, quite to the contrary. I mean that him don't know how to gather a group of youth together and say, make all the vibes. Him don't know how to go in our community and talk to people and all that. Matter of fact, him go walk, him going to the area, go walk, and people stop and wonder who him. And that is not good for a politician. His name is Woodbine, and him have that name, and I would imagine I will get to that part. So his first disadvantage is that him don't have the political knack. Politics not in him. Him just get the seat because of that's one of his advantage. Him got the seat because his uncle is a PMP businessman whose power and influence is more about his business than the politics, but the politics use the businessmen with money, and the businessmen with money use the politics to achieve their own gain. So Mr. Woodbine, Junior Woodbine, the junior Mr. Woodbine, I think the senior Mr. Woodbine is his cousin, is his uncle, forgive me. And he was successful in getting a reward from the Rise group, because the Rise people, they reward people for various things. So he was getting the seat based on the fact that his uncle have been a contributor, and his uncle is a known PMP, and but the fact is, his uncle will not be able to help him except with money, because his uncle's loyalty is first to his business. And rightly so. Can't be that man is in business, man, protecting business. And I gather he also has a very good relationship with Bobby Montague. So that's going to be a little sticky, and I don't know how these people come to these decisions and how they make these kind of decisions. Some Rice candidates were not rewarded for their role in the sabotage operation, because I gather this young Woodbine did not know anything about no sabotage. He never participated in any sabotage. But of course, they were brought in for other reasons, and then they were rewarded for their support after the sabotage operation was unearthed, because everybody looking for power. So I got it that, yeah, him get the seat because him name Woodbine, and him uncle going to support him, and them never want to give it to that traitor when him Byfield. And him won the Gale seat. So there you have it with Southeast, with Western St. Mary. Western St. Mary. So the question remains, and will remain for now, can Bobby Montague actually hold on to that seat? Can the PMP candidate, Mr. Woodbine, gather himself and gather him wits about him and get himself organized and go actually get some people out and start move a campaign to win? Bobby Montague have one other thing going against him. Not only that he's a sitting member of parliament, but that, as I said, the local government elections help the GLP more than it helped the PMP, even though the PMP won some seats. Because what it has allowed the GLP to do is recalibrate and look where their weaknesses are and help them to reset. The PMP just sit down now and wait, because they are imagining their head and believing them polls that because of people's angst with Mr. Holness, that's going to translate into some win for them, and that's where they are. All right, so that's it with Bobby Montague. Let's look at Southeast St. Mary briefly with this guy named Lorraine Ferguson. I don't know why I'm changing name, but that's his name. Your name is your name. Now this man Ferguson has been a traitor before Mark and Bunting them introduced treachery into the PMP. Him was a traitor, which is why Harry Douglas sidelined him all the time, and him couldn't come now in him Harry Douglas constituency. A matter of fact, I think him ran for the NDM once and their ticket against Harry Douglas, and I think he actually went and supported the Labourite candidate. It might have been Mr. Peralta over Harry and tried to sabotage Harry several times. So him is right up Mark them alley. Him and them is right over them. Him feel right in with that, because that is what rewarded him that seat. Him just go tell them how many things that him do and how the PMP treat him, and how him never tell them same sabotage Harry. Him never tell them same was a traitor. Never tell them, say, he probably tell them that him run for the NDM, but of course he wouldn't tell them that the whole of people of Southeast St. Mary know that he was working with the Labourites against Harry on many occasions, because he felt that Harry should have left and give him the seat. Him not getting no traction over there. And if you look at the local government election results, he spent the whole day in local government election day. He spent the entire day down in Castleton. The Castleton comrades them tell me I down them the day. I don't know doing what, and if him have to spend him time down in Castleton where there's just pure Labourite votes, PMP outnumbered at least 3-1 in votes in Castleton. If him couldn't go into PMP areas, go bring out PMP votes on election day in local government, if him couldn't spend him time in PMP areas, that alone says everything that you need to know about him. Because if he felt that him could go into Castleton, because any politician feel that him have to go into the enemy territory on the day of elections to go try muster up some vote, it suggests that him have no that him now no creds in PMP area, and maybe him can't go up there, so go make no impact. So I don't know if him can beat Mr. Dunn. The numbers don't suggest that, and the only seat in St. Mary that got over 2,000 votes was the Anatabia division. But that is not strange. Anatabia division have gotten 2,000 votes in local government before, and yet the local government candidate lost in the Anatabia division. And if that division can bring out a win, then I don't see him winning Southeast St. Mary. Now we'll go over to West Portland. And West Portland is an interesting and intriguing place because of the PMP candidate, Doreen Forbes. I know Doreen very well, and her lifelong ambition has been to be a member of parliament and minister of government. She has wanted this for a very long time. It's a passion that she has. And she is the former councillor for the Balcarres division over in West Portland. And I found it, first of all, the people in West Portland, the PMP people, them on the ground, the operatives, them don't want her over there. And them tell me that, them tell the pedophile general secretary, and him tell them, say, and she had a candidate and it's settled already and them have to work with it. Me tell them, say, them have to learn to live with that, because that fool don't know how to talk, or nothing else but that. Because them have to reward people that supported them. And I gather that Doreen came out early and supported them, because she vexed about a couple of things. Vexed at how Portia them treat her, and she was once going to be the candidate, and then it was given to who was it? I think it was Dabdoob or somebody else, but she never got to get to actually run against Mr. Vaz, and she has always big up herself and said she can beat Mr. Vaz. Now, why I'm mentioning, I don't have no issues with Doreen. We're not friends, but she's a sister, and she did a lot of work in West Portland. A lot of work she did, both as councillor and working with Jigs Ennis and other candidates. She did a lot of work, but she don't live here either. So that is something else. I think she's a U.S. citizen, so that is also something else. So I don't even know, but maybe she think that, maybe she know that she's not going to win, so those things not bothering her or anybody else. But here's the thing that makes me want to mention West Portland. I would think that somebody coming from the political stock that Doreen is coming from, she would have thought to herself, going into the local government election, maybe I should run back my own division, win that, and see if I can gather some strength and get some enthusiasm and motivation on the ground. But she didn't do that. She didn't run back her own division. She actually sent somebody else to run the division, and then she didn't support the guy. She didn't go in there at all. She did no work in there at all. None. But she's the candidate for the PMP, and she will remain the candidate for the PMP. So will Mr. Ferguson, because those are loyalists to the Rise bosses. And she's going to lose to Mr. Vaz again, and she will just pack her bag and go back to her to America, where she live, and that will be the end of it. And these things are such an injustice to the voting public, particularly voting people who vote for PMP in Portland, in West Portland. This is so, these things are demotivating. First you tell them, say you can't change the candidate, and she's the candidate, and them over them say them don't want her over there. She didn't go back or work the division that she once held as a councillor. She should have gone and gotten, can you imagine if she had gone and gotten that division? But maybe she felt she couldn't win it either, and she didn't want to work it either. A whole heap of suppositions could be made from that. A whole heap of conclusions could be drawn from that. I do not know. But I know that I have to mention these, because she was not a part of the sabotage operation either. But she quickly joined, because she was glad that Lisa Anna and all of the PMP people, them who never helped her enough to get the seat to run against Vaz, that is also some kind of feelings thing. Now, my feelings carrying in politics, trust me. People carry feelings in politics till it look bad. Then there's Mr. Colin Bell, whom I do not know. I do not know Mr. Colin Bell, but a whole of my family, them over Portland East, know Mr. Colin Bell. And they know that him don't have a prayer in hell, and they do not like him. These are serious issues, because your candidate, in order to even compete or have a chance, need to have two things going in, or after them go in, them need to ramp up likability, and them need to rank up name recognition. And that name recognition must be coupled with people actually knowing you personally, and then there must be a likability factor that you can build on. This man don't have none of that. I mean, between him and Ferguson and Mr. Woodbine down in Western St. Mary, I don't know. I would imagine that these are what you call lambs to the slaughter. These are just give them a chance because them support you and them come out and them talk to people for you and all of that. So you give them a chance, and instead of giving the PMP people them a chance in these constituencies, Mark and the pedophile him decide that they might give people who support them or people who they think that they can control or would have their back. These are the people who get in these seats. Remember, that part of the rise thing is to give the seats to people who, when them turn member of parliament, they'll be able to keep the rise leaders in power until eternity. That's basically the plan. The operation that Mark Golding led against the PMP is nothing ordinary, It does not matter if you're a part of it or not. So whether Mr. Ferguson was a part of it or not, Young Woodbine was a part of it or not, or whether Doreen was a part of it or Bell was a part of it, their clear support of these people indicate that they support it. So it doesn't matter what you think. Somebody must have heard that I'm asking questions about East Portland. So somebody who's supporting Bell called me and say, Karen, you have lost a lot of friends in politics, And I said to them, I don't lose friends in politics. I don't care about losing friends over politics because I don't regard it as that. I have lost friends over morals. That is what I have lost. Friends over morals, and I choose to stand on my own morals and my own convictions, on my own self of understanding and my own self of being a noble and good citizen. That's what I'm standing. So that's what I've lost. And I don't count most of them to be friends anyway. Them know that I never count most of them to be friends. Most of them are regarded as comrades, but not friends. Friends is not a word I use very lightly. Yeah? So there is that. But the people know. The people know. That's what I want to say. To Western St. Mary, to Southeast St. Mary, to East and West Portland, the people knows. The people knows what Mark Golding did. The people knows what he continues to do, and the people know that these people are reward for support. They are not chosen as a matter of the best to compete, but they are chosen as a matter of support. So the people know, and they know that these people are rewarded for those kind of support, and it makes it easier. This kind of thing make it easier for voters to reject them. So the PMP people, them the workers, the ground operators, they're rejecting them first, and then the voters are going to reject them. Come election day, the voters are going to say, "We're not supporting no go away." Finally, the GLP is not yet out of the woods. They are not. They're not yet out of the woods. Because as I said, when the voters turn against you, it's an uphill climb to get them back on track. And without the proper message and without the proper motivations, it's going to be even tougher. Some PMP people talking about if you put an orange shirt on a dog, they're going to win this constituency or that constituency. I'm going to tell the PMP people them which constituency them attack at some point, so that them know that there are people out there who running for them seats who comparing them to people who will really willing to vote for dogs. That's basically what I'm saying to you. That if you put on an orange shirt and it mark PMP upon a dog, you go vote for them. You need to come out of that mentality. It is an enslaved mentality that is designed to degrade you. That it is designed to make you feel worthless. Well, it might not make you feel worthless, but it is designed to tell you that you are worthless. The only thing that you are worth is a vote, and nothing else for them to tell you. Boy, if them put on a orange shirt for a dog, them are gonna go vote for him. Come on, you need to back up, man. cut this out. So while Mr. Holness is still not yet out of the woods, and every opportunity the pedophile gets, him display total nervous cockiness, telling every meeting that he gets to run off his mouth, him go underage pum pum mouth. I tell PMP people that we're winning and the polls are in line with all the other polls and we're ahead and we're going to be all right. Just like I'm telling us, we're not going to win 10 or more local government councils. We don't have to take that with a grain of salt, or we should take it with some coleslaw, whatever want want to take it with. But that is it. I will be back soon to talk about some more constituencies. And let me just tell you why I decided to look at these constituencies finally. I decided to look at these constituencies and not just the ones that the PMP have the opportunity to win back, strong PMP seats, so to say. But I want to paint a broad picture to the voters of this country. I want to paint a broad picture for you that some quarters are taken for granted and others are taken for people who have no sense, who will vote for a dog in an orange shirt. And I want to make that comparison for you as a voter, especially as a PMP voter, and let you understand that it's time for you, the PMP voter, to stand up for yourself and say, oh, hell no. Yeah, me a PMP, but me not voting for this crap. I would rather not vote, or I'm going to give my vote to that other man who I believe might be a better man. But you can stand up and say that. Don't anybody bullying you and telling you about your PMP, you must go vote for that man there if you don't like them. Just like all the PMP people them of West Portland said them not going out to vote for Doreen. And the PMP people them in East Portland said them no know no Mr. Bell. And any man, what a damn fellow say, any man with name with Bell must be some foolishness himself about the Bell with Labour, right, and all of that. People go and make them kind of comparisons there about stuff. So that's basically what I want to say. That was a marathon. Oh yeah, it was. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me ranting off my mouth again. God bless you all. Stay safe, everybody, and keep your children safe.